Welcome, Shaila. It's such a pleasure to have you here. I've been anticipating this podcast with Shaila from beautiful married times. Now, Shaila is a musician and what was it? Inspiring global inspiration. That's a tongue twister, but I said it. I said it. She's an artist. There's a lot that we're going to learn from Shaila. She's going to tell us a bit about herself in a second. She's also a hygienist during the day. She's a lot of things. This woman is incredible. And then after Shaila gives us a little bit of about tell us a little bit about herself, we're gonna talk about what we're really here to talk about, which is mindfulness, mental health, the voice in our minds, and where would that conversation take us? So stay tuned. Now, Shaila, welcome again. Tell us a bit about yourself, and let's see where this conversation will take us.
Thank you. As you can see, I feel like my insides are ready to bust because this is so up my alley. And thank you for having me on today. It's a pleasure to be here. Very honored that you would come to me to hear my voice and thoughts on this topic. So, my name is Shaila Griffiths. I am an aspiring global inspiration.
I love
By
it.
day, I am a registered dental hygienist. By night, I'm a Jesus rock star, baby. No.
I like it. I'm gonna write this down. Jesus Rockstar. Okay.
um, I have a very interesting path because it's very it was going one way, and then I feel like Jesus took me, spun me around, and threw me up the other way, and now we're going in a totally different direction. But it's been the most beautiful journey that I feel so truly blessed to be here at this point in my life. I guess I could say that I start by I grew up in a town of like 100 people. Basically, all of my family, very loving. Anybody who grows up in a small town knows that you know everything about everybody, even if you don't want to know. And that wasn't always fun growing up, but once I moved out of not only that the small town into St. John's, but even I moved to Vancouver, you really recognize and appreciate and value your upbringing in that kind of environment because there was just such an outpouring of love that you really didn't appreciate at the time, but you do when you're kind of away from it. So I grew up in
Mm-hmm.
that beautiful area.
One big family of a
One big
hundred people.
family, yeah. And I might add to that one big God fearing family. My nan was a very God fearing woman, so the spiritual side of that kind of love and protection was always there as well. Which is again another thing that was kind of just brushed off.
Hmm.
It was just something that was a part of our lives, but we didn't look into too much. So uh, I guess I should go back a few steps. Before I moved to Vancouver, I moved to New Brunswick to do dental hygiene. Moved home during the pandemic, started my career at the very start of the pandemic. I just celebrated my 5-year anniversary as a dental hygienist a
Yeah,
couple of weeks ago.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And it feels great. I absolutely love my career. I love my patients. I love the rapport that I get to build. It brings me a whole lot of joy and life into my life. Um,
Beautiful. What
so,
took you? I mean, you've told me probably, and sorry, I'm gonna be interrupting you here and there, just
yeah.
because things that catch my attention. But dental hygienist, nobody's in your family is in dentistry that I know of,
No,
right? So, what was the reason? How did that become a reality for you?
I have. I keep putting it back to this one reason. So in grade 2, I face planted running laps around the gym in gym class. Now, ask me who makes grade 2s run laps. I don't know. But I face planted this, and I broke one of my front teeth. And
Oh,
long story short, I was back and forth to the dentist because it would always fall out. I ended up loving my hygienist because the filling appointments were always a little bit more nerve wracking for me as a kid.
of
So
course.
I gravitated toward the hygienist. But I also just think being more present in the dental office more than you kind of want to be opens you up to that as well. And my mom was also the one. She was the mom that was like, "Be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a dentist. Like
Oh,
the
okay,
world
okay.
is yours. You go. You're like." she she believed in us from birth, uh, and like just instilled greatness and big everything. Just kind of take it and go. So I think it was a mix at a very young age of hearing that voice, and also my experience with dental that kind of like came together. Every year during school, you know how they would ask you, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Like the 5 out of the 6 high school years were dental. So
Okay, all right. So it was a personal experience. So it didn't turn you away from it because I mean, as a kid, if I had to go there every so often to fix my chip too, that might turn me away from dentistry overall. But instead, you actually turn towards it.
I
So
know I'm
that's
an
pretty
alpha
that's
for
pretty
sure.
amazing. That's amazing. And you've been now 5 years in, and people have loved you. I know because I actually go to the dentist office that you used to work here in Vancouver, and they still speak highly of you. So you are leaving little traces of goodness for the places you go, which is a proof of the great work you've done.
That's amazing.
And and can you tell us, because we're on topic of dental hygiene, and we're gonna move away from that in a bit, but I'm curious, uh, what's the one thing that patients or customers have taught you over these 5 years?
That getting old sucks.
Okay, okay, elaborate.
I talk to my patients all the time, and I know it has nothing to do with your dental or mouth, but it's just the banter that we have back and forth. Everybody is just coming in with back problems, kidney problems, high blood pressure. Like every time I see somebody above a certain age, that's all they talk about. They're like,
Oh
"You
no.
better appreciate your age. Getting old sucks." And
Okay, so
maybe that's just here in Newfoundland, that I've noticed that so much. But that's the number one thing that I think kind of puts the fear of getting old into me. So
all right, what how do we digest that? Is there anything we can do? We just go, well, it's it. It's just it sucks. We just accept it. We're gonna get old.
yeah, and I think there's a level of acceptance that I mean that's the beautiful journey of life.
Yeah,
If you don't
for
accept it,
sure.
you're gonna live in a depressed state.
Denial, resistance.
Denial, exactly, and I mean that's no way to live either. But
Hmm.
it's just funny when I sit down and work on people's mouths, and here I'm like complaining about my back or neck, and like, okay, we're good, we're still young, and we got this.
What's the funniest moment you remember as a dental hygienist out of 5 years? Does anything come to mind that you'd like to share?
Oh, funny.
Or it could be like something that's worth sharing. It doesn't have to be funny. Something that's
I had a gentleman in my chair one day tell me that I'm gonna find my husband at church, and it
okay.
stirred my soul.
He just kind of profited that out of nowhere. Was it a conversation or like how
Um,
did that?
we were kind of, but not really. It kind of came out of nowhere, and it's I was really taken back by it because when you're looking at somebody and you're telling something to somebody in confidence, that's how it was, and I'm like, and you're like, are you
Okay.
you mean that, or are you just saying go to church? Like I didn't know, but that stuck with me, and still does to this day, which is very interesting.
That's interesting. Have you?
No, I'm,
It hasn't.
I'm
It
happy.
hasn't happened.
No, I'm happy pursuing music and Jesus right now.
Okay. Okay. Well, if that happens, that'll be interesting. You do let me know because that prophecy, if it comes to reality. Um, and in the dental hygienist world, I've met a few that have worked in that industry. Last question about it, would you recommend young women like yourself or even men go into that industry and why?
Yes, hands down, yes. I have a few reasons. One, it's a lot more intimidating before you go into it than actually getting into it and getting out and starting your career. Your schooling, you can do 1 to 2 years of undergrad. You don't have to finish your undergrad to get accepted to a dental hygiene school.
Okay.
Um, once you get accepted, it's a 2-year program, and then you're out in your career. I started my career at 21 years old, making a very great
This.
income for someone so young. Being a health professional with that, there were so many benefits that I didn't even consider or even know. Um, in different
Yeah.
provinces, you can be salary based or commission based.
Mhm.
The schedule is flexible. A lot of the scheduling, you can work at, say, one office 3 days a week, another office one day. You can work 5 days, you can work 6 days, you can work
Mhm.
3 days. It's really up to you, depending on the office that you find and that you really kind of
Connect
like
with maybe.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so
So
not
there's.
only that, but it's the satisfaction of not having to take anything home. There's a lot of
Okay.
heavy careers out there. Like my sister is a nurse, and I know that there's a lot of weight that comes with that when you
Yeah.
leave
Yeah.
the emergency room, and
Oh, for sure.
so I'm very blessed that way as well. And on one more thing that I really love is that for me personally, it's able to fund my dreams, things that I'm very passionate about. Now, I'm very fortunate. I don't take what I have for granted, that's for sure. But
Hmm.
I'm however I got myself here. It's like I love this career. I love my job. I think dental
Beautiful.
hygienists, it's a great career to
So
get.
it sounds like for young people that want to get ahead, maybe it's an opportunity to take a look. If
Absolutely.
they're willing to, flexibility, the hard work is there if they want to.
Yeah.
That's amazing, and it's worked for you. Thanks for sharing that. Has it made you a better person? Do you
Um,
think?
I would I wouldn't say scaling teeth has made me a better person. I think what has made me a better person was falling in love with doing something that I was actually interested in. Um, just by chance, again, those series of events that led me to where am as a hygienist to get me into this field. I think just following that and going for it and not knowing what's going to come out on the other end. um, I think that's how I've always
Wonderful.
lived, and
Yeah.
it's always worked out. So, but it's that voice.
Yeah, no, and let's talk about that voice now because um I mean I've known you for quite a few years for sure now, and that is a more recent change, at least in the time I've known you. You've turned towards that voice or that God, right? I mean that's the voice you're referring to, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And also music, because, and don't be humble, you are, I think you're a great singer and artist. I guess it's a package. I've heard you sing and play, and I think you have a spectacular voice, and you've done some actual recorded songs. So tell us a bit about the music world and the God world.
Well, thank you very much. I am.
Hmm.
The last time I played for you, I was a bag of nerves, and I kind of still am. But I've grown into more of a confidence role in the singing and playing since I left Vancouver. Let's go back a few steps. I moved to Vancouver, and just out of a place where I didn't know, like, I loved my job, I loved my office in Newfoundland, but there was this question that came up. And I think a lot of people get this question in life. Um, what am I doing here? It can't just
Oh,
be all for a 9 to 5. And it had nothing to do with how much I loved my job. It was the hunger for more, the desire for I want to take in everything about this life. And I think at the time it was a mixture. Everything that has happened in my life, always there's a level of pain that pushes me to the next step. So in this case, I was in that funk of not knowing, like, I'm 21 years old. I've been a year in this job now. This can't be it for the rest of my life. Like, I need more excitement. I love my job, don't get me wrong, but there's something got to happen elsewhere because there's something unfulfilled. And another thing that I think was a cherry on top was a very unhappy relationship that I was in. So one day out of the blue, I never thought about it. Never, I don't know where it came from. It just spewed out of my mouth, and I said, "I'm moving to Vancouver." My sister had already been living up there for 2 years, Shauna,
hmm.
and I called her that evening, and I said, "I'm moving." and that was the end of it. This was in like September, October. I moved in January. So I transferred my licenses, I packed up my bags, I got a job and an apartment before I moved because I wanted to be set before I moved, right? And
Hmm.
this is actually a good context for starting this out because my journey started with my job. I didn't realize how important my workplace was going to be in my life, but I was actually going to sign a contract with one other office than the one that I was working at
Hmm.
in Vancouver while I was there. I was about to sign it. And again, that voice, there was a pit in my stomach, was just like, don't sign it, don't do it. There was just immediately
You knew.
it was in me. Like I can't describe it. It was just a knife to the stomach being like, this is not it. So as soon as I declined their offer, I went straight to my other office and I said, "Hey, I would love to take this position. Thank you for your consideration. I hope it works out." And that was it. He
And it
accepted
did.
it, and
Hmm.
that's the office I worked at. And I'll save the rest. I'll save the rest for last. But
Hmm.
again, I want to highlight that
Yeah.
pit in my stomach to change
Hmm.
directions to go to that one office.
Hmm.
So I moved to Vancouver. All in all, it was an incredible experience. A lot of ups and a lot of downs. I was living a dream life in one sense, but in another sense, at the same time, I completely lost myself to the point where I didn't even know who I was anymore. Um, that's
Hmm.
that's where I found Jesus. Was in that
Okay, so
darkness.
if I'm hearing correctly, so in Newfoundland, 21, working 1 year, making decent income, and I'm asking to myself, the voice is telling me, what am I doing here? Is that all? Is that I need something else? I can't be doing this for the rest of my life. And you said that's common for people. We sometimes, we ask that questions. That I think that voice comes from the talker because it's never enough. The talker is never, nothing is ever enough. But then you move here, you got that adventure because it is an adventure from
Mhm.
Newfoundland to
Oh yeah.
Vancouver. A lot more diverse life, a lot of whatever you need in the city is here. And then you found that, but then you said, but then there was still a void in me, right? That's what I'm hearing.
It was a darkness because I fell into a lot of unhealthy worldly um, ways, I guess, of a big city life that I got wrapped up in, and but I think also coming from a place of that 100 town community to downtown Vancouver, there was everything. It was like a kid in a candy store.
Yes, I was gonna say.
I will never forget waking up every morning and stepping out onto my balcony on the 19th floor and looking out and saying, "Hello, am I alive? Like, is this my life? Holy crap. Thank you, Jesus. Like, I don't know how I got here, but thank you." It was a dream come true. But I think the main point in that one area is that not all dreams are good dreams. Um, sometimes things happen for a reason, but you don't realize the reason why they're happening or why you have to go through what you're going
Mm,
through, such a high and such a low at the same time,
interesting.
to then be hauled out of that city, um, and then to find out why.
Okay, so again, really good things you're telling us here. Um, like what you're saying is maybe that dream that you thought was the dream was actually revealing something else, or maybe there was a lesson or a stepping stone to what you really need, but you couldn't see it at the time. Maybe is that kind of.
Yeah. Yes, I think there was a lot of beauty covering the the darkness that I was also dabbling in. Because I don't think what your life is never just a straight happy road. There's always the good, there's always the bad mixed in together. Um, So
It-
what I'm saying, when I was in Vancouver, I was living both roads. Like I was like so happy, so content. Every time anybody see me, I was like this bubbly Shilah, you know. But
Mhm.
I also on the inside and other habits that I was doing was also tearing me down. And
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
in my head there was two experiences that two lives that I lived in
Interesting.
Vancouver.
Interesting. Well, since we're already starting to talk about the what's in the mind and the head, and what like we're touching that topic, we'll change gear, or not only change, but go deeper into it and talk about mindfulness and mental health, because I think what have gone through has a lot to do with this.
Yeah,
And so, and that second part of the conversation, the emphasis is mindfulness, mental health, yes, but there is a specific part of it, what I call the talker in you, that I would like to focus on and see how that's relevant, or what's the insights that you can provide us. And maybe that was the voice that was forcing you to come here. And then, like, does it compare to the gut feeling? Are those two different voices? Maybe we can talk about that, right? So,
absolutely.
first question though, when I say the talker in you, what comes to mind, Charlie? What's the what? Yeah.
The you. It's you. It's your voice. It's such a big thing for me because I've been living this for the last 2 years. I opened the grand gates of Shilah and
Okay.
I
Ooh.
faced myself, and it was beautiful, but it was a broken beautiful. And what I mean by that, the talker in you is the voices that we hear in our head, the voice
Okay.
to go to Vancouver, the voice to not do that, not go with that job, the voice that tells you when you're in the middle of something that this doesn't really feel right, or when you're doing something that you love, it tells you, oh my God, this is what you're made for. Like that voice is is within all of us, and that voice has power when you find it.
Okay.
And when I mean that
Ooh.
I open the grand gates to Shilah, Jesus helped me unlock that door. And I found a whole new version. I found her, not even a version, I found her. And I know I'm speaking of me in a different context here, but I'm just
It's okay.
of like
Found her as the inner you.
the
Is that what we're referring to?
enemy. But I think the talker, it's some people may call it instinct, some people may call it a nudge, whatever you want to call it. But I really believe that it's compiled of our thoughts, our surroundings, the divine. Like I think it's compiled of a lot of different factors
Mhm.
that we act upon based
Mm.
on
Okay.
how we feel, how we interact with people. Like when you say when you come around someone with great energy, you can feel that. Same with bad energy as well. You're gonna act differently around different people. So I think that talker allows you to discern um, things that maybe you like or you don't like, things like that.
Okay. Maybe. Okay. I'm hearing beautiful things here, but is it possible that the talker that you okay, there's the yin and yang, like sometimes you refer to, the bad wolf and the good wolf. Is there a chance that the talker has two faces, the one that you're describing, the inner the inner Shilah, the strong, the connected with God, the light in you, and the one that knows where to lead you, and then there's the nagging talker, the one that tells you you're not good enough, the one that prevents you to sleep sometimes, or
Can I answer the question, sir?
please answer, please.
It is Jesus and the devil.
Okay, all right. So I didn't say those that way, but I think yeah, I gave you the opportunity, because yes, that's also how it's labeled, right? Jesus, the voice, the good one, and then the
Yeah.
devil. So how do you differentiate between those two voices?
I want to just, I guess, tie in what I was saying before, all in one thing. The talker in me, it comes from that steadfast, divine host in my life, which is Jesus. Like
Okay.
I that's how I found and I started to understand myself within myself was
Wow, beautiful.
with the foundation of God and leaning on Him, and it's the beauty of faith, the fruits of the Spirit you get from
But
walking in faith. That's my whole music journey. But
and how did it find you though? Like Shilah, like you
in the
is it a progress? Is it
no,
a
it was um, okay. Okay. Let's
too many questions?
no. I want to make sure that I'm answering correctly because what it was for me was the breaking. There's such a beautiful making in the breaking that we don't even see in the midst of the breaking. Only until you're outside of being broken, that's when you see the beauty of the shattered glass. You following?
Oh, I do. So it took you, you had to go to the, like you had to break in a way, let's
Yeah,
call it,
yeah.
to actually see the beauty. So is that what you're referring to?
Exactly. And let me just put that into like my own experience. I fell down some really dark rabbit holes in Vancouver that I kept going down, bad decisions. Not one not no good for my morale, no good for my character, no good for my body, no good for my mind or health. Like I was
Hmm.
I was living that life, and I looked in the mirror one day and I said, "Who are you? Like you've lost yourself." So that's when I kind of broke down and I was just like, I've always had faith in God. I've always had that belief in God, but I was very
Hmm.
lukewarm. It was just like a friend, you know? It wasn't anybody who was, it was someone I'd go to, excuse me, when I needed help or when I was in a sad state,
Hmm.
where I just like expressed my gratitude toward. But I never had a purpose. I never felt like I was living a purpose. I just felt like I was living life. So there's two different things.
Okay, okay.
So in the midst of going down this, I'm gonna say bad road, on the other side, this is why I say I have two experiences and two lives in Vancouver, because on the other side, on at the same time that this wheel was going. And with this wheel, I had met a friend, Jake, who heard me sing one night, who wanted me to do an open mic, and I looked at him and I said, "You are crazy." um, but he just said, "You know what? Come over, let's practice." That basically stranger at the beginning of my journey in Vancouver turned into somebody who hauled me out of my shell and my comfort zone and was a guide to allowing me to find this purpose. Um, because
Wow.
once I got
Mm.
up on that stage, now mind you, he practiced with me every week for hours on end for 5 months without
Mhm,
even stepping a foot on the stage. And we're only singing
mhm.
two songs at an open mic. Like it's not that big of a deal. But when I got up on that stage, it's like everything just went black and everything inside of me lit up.
Wow.
It's the most I'll never forget it. You know that there's certain highs in your life that you never want to forget. That's one moment that's gone to my grave with me because it's such a feeling of overcoming not only fear, but those voices that say that you cannot do this. You're no good. You never had confidence in your singing ability. You're trying to fight the person who's telling you that you're good enough to go up there. And I'm saying, no, no, I'm not. I didn't fight him literally, but like I battled
And
with my mind for months. He had to push me for 5 months to get me to go up there. So we're talking about voices, honey. I know all about those voices. Um,
okay, so those are not the good Jesus voices though that you're referring to, right?
that's
Like,
right. That's
right?
why I
That
said
you call
is Jesus from the
it.
devil. I mean, there's doubt, there's insecurity, there's
Okay.
fear. None of that comes from God.
So music was that pillar. Wow, as you say it, I was going down the bed, the high city life, the bed road, the way you're referring to, and then music and that friend Jake were the pillars that actually was the good side of the city
Right,
that gave you a different, like it was a different experience.
right.
So from there, did it just go music and then more into God and more into God music? Is that how it kind of
So the bow tie on the box that kept the walls
Yes.
together
Yeah.
was my boss, that office that I decided to work at,
Okay.
because he was the one who encouraged me to go to church while all this chaos was going on my inner and outer world. I was living the life. I was partying. I was just pushing myself past my limits. Like, it was great. It was amazing. You don't have good without bad. So, but what he brought into my life was the awareness um, of Jesus' hand over my life and how he worked. And basically, I went to that one service one day and I just remember crying. And I didn't want to make a big deal of it, but it's just streaming water was running down my
Why?
face.
What was it? What did you feel? Was it that
Um,
compassion that you were looking for, or
No, I think it was more, I'm sorry, God, I've sinned so much and I don't feel worthy of sitting in this pew. But yet I feel so warm and loved and protected by you right now. It was just
hmm,
this overwhelming
beautiful.
emotion of the world of chaos coming together, and God was like, I got you. Like, but at the same time,
Wow.
when you do somebody wrong, somebody that you love, and you hurt them, and it makes you that kind of upset. It was also that. So again, while the good and the bad and the music was going on, I had another part of me that was being encouraged to do a 10-week church program. And God loved this man. I want to emphasize the goodness of this man's heart, because he literally signed up with his wife for a session downstairs in the basement of this church just so he could give me a ride every Wednesday so I could attend this 10-week church program.
That's the dentist. We're talking about the
Yes.
dentist, yeah,
That
right?
was my, yes. He
Wow.
purposely signed up so I would have a ride.
Wow.
Like,
Wow. Eh,
I've never met, um, I've never come across
This
it.
kindness.
And
Okay.
again, yeah,
I'm getting these blitz, and I like to always summarize them because to make sure I'm following you. So
absolutely.
in the city, you're living this life that outside, like you said, seems like Shaila's bubbly, she's up and at them, having this great time, party, whatnot, and it seems like a full life, right?
Yeah.
She's got it going, right? Work and part and having a great time. But inside, based on what you're telling me, what the church was what gave you and you didn't have, you still didn't feel like home. You didn't feel the love, the care, the belonging. Because when you entered that church, you said I had this moment of just kind of like crying out.
But I
That
didn't even
like,
know I was missing it until I showed up.
mm.
I think,
But you knew something was missing though. I think because
yeah,
you said,
yeah. I
right.
mean, I
You had
think,
that feeling.
yeah. I mean, definitely there was an empty with that with the I call it a darker lifestyle just because that's what I've experienced. I enjoyed it while I was living it, but it was a dark for the soul.
Mhm.
So there was absolutely a void, but I think all those like substances kept filling that void, and that's the only
Mhm.
thing that would fill that void for temporary
Short,
things until I
short-lived,
found like
short-lived.
an actual foundation. Um, and again, it was like chaos, love, purpose, all the one time, and boom, my family member gets sick. I'm on the phone, and I'm moving back to Newfoundland in 6 weeks. Boom,
Wow,
life
wow.
in Vancouver,
Boom.
we know it is over. And
Boom. But it didn't happen that fast, though. So for listeners, it might be 5 minutes that we're talking, but it was like we're talking about a couple years in Vancouver, right?
a year and a
Was
half.
it? Oh, year and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, it was enough time for you to experience this lifestyle and all the things you said to change. But I wanna. Okay, I'm wrapping it, like I'm trying to put it together. So the talker for you, it has some. The journey's got a, like the voice has evolved. Like
Oh, yeah.
it's gone through stages, and yeah, like I'm trying to even understand like how it went from Newfoundland. Like, there's got to be something else there. We're going in Vancouver. Yeah, we're doing this live. Then I'm looking at my mirror. I said, "Who are you?" Like I'm picking up things that you
Mhm.
said, right? Who are you? And then I'm going to church, and then in church, that voice is telling me maybe that I've guilt too much, and then I'm not enough. I've made a in front of God, and then that voice evolved to pure love. Or where is that voice now? I guess.
There's many steps in between. Um,
Okay, I missed a few for sure.
yeah. So again, I think that wraps up the summary of the important parts of my life in Vancouver. The rest
Hmm.
happened when I moved home. The revelations
Oh,
happened when I moved home. I didn't even all this music journey happened when I moved home. So
correct.
it wasn't until and I say hauled out of there because that's how I kind of see it now. Like the just the way it all worked out. I feel like God set me there, shook me up, and pruned me, and gave me some experiences, and like spit me back out. And was like, okay, now I can work with something.
True, but you were asking for those, right? Like, remember you were saying, "Is there anything else in front of me?" When you're 21, right? I
Yep,
I think,
yep,
right? Okay. So now
absolutely.
you're back in Newfoundland. You got this goal, and it happened. 2 years I was in there. Now I'm back,
Yeah.
but you're different.
Be careful what you
It's
ask for.
Yeah. Be careful what you ask for. Now Shaila is back, but she's different. She's not the same girl that left Newfoundland for sure.
No, I'm a totally different being. I don't even feel connected to anybody here. My family, of course, and like my cousins and things like that. Like that will never change. But friend wise, like I've changed so much that I knew I was going to be starting a brand new life here as if it was a clean slate, which was really nice because I also had control over that, and as do anybody in
Hmm.
who's living. You just got to make that choice, right? If you want something different, you are the decision maker. You just you set some of those boundaries, and you're good to go. Um, so when I came
When you
back, I said, like I didn't just go through all of this to go through all of this and then not do anything with it. Like what I felt on that first open mic stage was so powerfully, it moved me so much that it made me want to pursue it more here, even though I lost all my connections. I lost my motivator, Jake, who like kept pushing me to step outside my comfort zone. I kind of looked around and was just like, oh, everyone's God, and it's just me now. So then I'm like, okay, God, I'm building my relationship with God at the time as well. So I'm like, I see what you're doing. Like you gave someone pushed me in my life. Now you want me to fully trust in you and put my faith in you. I said, okay, if if it is the voice, and might I add, with this voice, you question it all the time, and because you're not sure what this voice is about yet. Like you're trying to trust it, you don't know if you can trust it, you don't know if what you're doing is right
can
or whatnot.
can can I ask though for the listeners and even for me, that voice that you're following, that's leading you, that that is the God's voice. How is it different? How does it sound differently than the nagging voice? That's the egoic talker that the devil that you call it. How do you know? How do you separate the two?
Because it brings peace. It's not always loud in your ear. It's sometimes waking you up at 3 a.m. and it's you're thinking about. Um, for me, it was thinking about what are my next step in music. I'm like, why would I be waking up at 3 a.m. thinking about music? I should be sleeping right now. Sometimes it's um, you hear this message on a station that sends chills down your spine. That doesn't make sense as to why it would hit you so hard, but it hits you so hard. I think that's what I relate
Mhm.
about with music too, is because when I hear God's voice, and even when I talk to God more specifically, is when I feel the presence of the Holy Spirit. Like my whole body gets, it's like electrocuted with the Holy Spirit. I
Wow.
I would love for my whole goal for everyone to feel that at least once in their life because it's the most beautiful presence and warmth and just there's no denying the presence of it.
Okay.
And it's
But does it talk? It's a feeling. It's an incredibly present feeling. Is there a thought or thoughts in it, or is just an experience?
it's a knowing. It's an
It's
internal
a no.
knowing. there's
Beautiful.
no voice that you actually audibly hear. Um, it's more of your, you know how you have like spidey senses, and I don't want to say this the wrong way. I feel like um I feel like God deserves a better explanation, but I'm giving you my best right now.
It's totally
Um,
fine. It's a conversation, and I know some of these things are difficult to explain.
yeah,
Whether you're coming from God and religious point of view, or people who are saying that it's a present moment,
yeah,
enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, it's difficult to put words on it.
yeah,
It's challenging.
yeah. I guess to say, you know, how do you know it's God? For me, there was a lot of just like, I don't know, but I'm going to do it anyways. I feel it's a knowing inside of you. It's a stillness. It's a confidence of
Okay, okay.
direction to go in. And
That was
then
that.
basically over time, there's been so many things happen that it's kind of like you can't avoid the direction because the
Hmm.
alignment of things, you start to get
Hmm.
revelations and you start to see things how they
Hmm.
add up and why you're here. But I had to
Hmm.
go through the whole line in my soul story um, to
That's
become this confident in my
that's
standing.
beautiful. That is very beautiful, and I'm now understanding fully, like, because when you said there's knowing,
Yeah,
there is presence, there is stillness,
yeah,
there is everything kind of makes sense, and this experience you described, that like I feel like you're charged up. That is it's a beautiful experience, and it actually has nothing to do with the talker that we're talking about here in my show,
no,
because that's the talker. That's what I call, at least, in this show, is the presence when you feel your being, the
Mhm.
self that is, and you refer to as the godly self. There's It's not the talker that's nagging, that's putting you down, that is telling you that you're not enough, that can put you in a dark space, right? That's the talker that we're trying to bring awareness. But it seems like you've overcome that, and now you're working from a point of presence, stillness, knowing, and for you it's God. Am I understanding correctly?
Totally correct. And I actually think that the talker within us is a huge part. It was a huge part for me to overcome. Yes, I'm talking about a little bit something different for sure, but I know exactly what you're talking about because every single step of the way of my music journey for just this doing this one song was overcoming that talker within me. So again, when I moved home to Newfoundland, I wanted to start something, and I just said, okay, you know, if this is my journey, if this is my purpose, the way I feel it could be,
Hmm.
Lord, I need your help. We sat down, we wrote a song, Line of My Soul. I'll kind of mix it into my journey and how I've overcome those voices. So again, not
Just
knowing.
for the record, that song is amazing. We're gonna put it in the podcast. We're gonna list it everywhere. I'm gonna link every, first of all, Shaila, obviously in the social medias, but also I think it's Spotify. I'm pretty sure it's in YouTube for sure. We're gonna link it all there for the viewers and listeners.
Thank you very much.
Hmm.
I write this song. I work on it for 9 months, and I'd like to highlight just because it's funny to me that you know how you give birth to something after 9 months. It was like the time. I'm a big thing on timing. I don't know why, but so I write the song, and then on a Sunday, I'm like, well, if I'm gonna put one song out to the world, I want to go big. I want to experience it. This is what life is about. Let's go. Like, and what that meant to me was music video, getting it produced, vocal lessons, mini documentary, all of it. I want to experience it all. If it falls flat to the ground, I still had so much fun learning new things,
Of course.
pushing myself past things I never would have thought that could overcome, which is your own mind, which is that talker in you.
Which is that talk is sabotaging you, telling you
Right,
you can't do it, right?
right. So let me tell you, the minute that I decided to do this, that talker got so loud. But you know what helped me get through that? This is why it relates to me is that foundation of strength and of purpose and of you're doing this for a reason. So you always need
Wow.
something to you need something talking to you to combat those thoughts. Because if not, you're going to be eaten. You're going to be eaten,
Okay.
and you're going to be depressed. You're going to be anxious. You're going to have low self worth, and it just relates into bad diet, poor habits.
It
Um,
spirals from
it
there.
spirals. It's a whole train
Yes.
in itself.
Okay.
So, what it was for me, because I felt so strong in this, that this is the way I'm going, God has me on this road for a reason. I don't know what it is, I'm just going for it. Because we're risk takers. Why not? Do
Mhm.
it because you feel like it. But do it with grace and purpose in helping people, you know? So I get basically zero sleep. I'm not stressed out because it's an excitement that I don't want to sleep. I want to do more work, more work, more work to make this as perfect as I can, educate myself. But the more I looked at YouTube videos of music videos, the more I went, oh my God, what did I get myself into? I can't do that. There's gonna
The
be
talker
no,
comes in again.
let
The-
alone,
the-
I'm not even in front of just a small audience. I have now cameras on me that I can't freeze up. Like I am the object that's going to be on. That's
the
a lot
star.
of pressure for
She's the little star.
someone who's never tried this or never had the belief or confidence. I grew in belief because I was strong in my belief in myself that I can do anything. But that's the
Okay.
power of knowing you, and that's the power of being confident in what you're able to bring. Because you know
This
what?
is. Go ahead.
You can only do your best. We get lost in translation in comparison. We get lost in translation when we listen to those outside voices
Mhm.
trying to take over what we were created to produce in life and to be, which is to live in authenticity of, for me, Jesus, and for everybody else as well. Like, I believe everybody has a voice, I believe everybody has a purpose, and I believe we all have greatness and power within us. But it's just, are you willing to either let God help you open the gates of yourself? Because there's so much beauty within it all when you're able to conquer that
The
talker.
talker. Okay, lots of good things, and I need to reiterate them again because I'm sure people are catching them, but for me, anyways, and then and again for everybody else. So when the talker got loud, this is what I heard from Shilah. When the talker got really loud when she wanted to do this amazing song, and she wanted to do it the way it's done properly, right? Which means putting yourself out there and doing something you've never done before. So the talker loves this kind of opportunity to tell you, no, that cannot be done. You cannot do it. It's no way, money, time, this, that, and many other reasons. What kept Shilah going for her, that was the belief, the strength, the purpose, God. So that's what, and she said, combat that talker. But that's what pulled you through to not listen and fall for the you're not good enough, you can't do it. No, I am good enough. I know, and then and go forward. So that's amazing that you have found this because it obviously helps you create, be.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
And I think that I'm still in disbelief from the result of this, because I kind of I think God shocked me more than myself, but just because I was obedient to that voice that I heard to go, to go do this, try this, don't be afraid to put yourself in an uncomfortable position where you've never been before, you don't know what you're doing, your confidence isn't great, but it's there, it's better than it was before. To So I mentioned about highlights of your life that you're going to take to your grave into heaven.
Yeah, yeah.
Stepping up on that stage was one of them. The morning of my release of my song, from creating and spending weeks and weeks and weeks, day in and day out, just creating something from nothing to this beautiful project that was released. Um, it was just like a baby was born. Like,
Giving birth. Yeah,
it was
yeah.
literally like giving birth. Like, that's, no matter how many more songs lying in my soul, good or bad, if you like it or not, it doesn't matter to me. I Sometimes I don't even like it, but sometimes I do. um, but she's my baby. Like,
Of course.
it's just this beautiful, beautiful.
Of course.
Exploration.
You're not you're not the first singer that tells me that the songs for an artist when they produce a song, it is like their baby.
Yeah,
And so, like you said, you may like it or not, but be kind to these people because it is their baby. It might not be to your taste, but
yeah,
that's what that person was saying, that it is like a baby. So I understand. I
yeah.
believe you. That's
Mhm.
how it feels. What did that song? What not did? What does that song represent
The
for you?
fire, it's the base of it is basically the chills that I got when I was talking with God, the Holy Spirit that would come over me. And I'm like, the first three words to me, first initially writing that song was chills, chills, chills. Because I sat down and I said, hey, God, if you want me to write, if you want me to go here, I need your help. I can't, I've never written before. I've never tried this before. I'm no good at writing. Like all these negative thoughts were just spewing out of me. And
Hmm.
I sat down for an hour and a half, and me and God had our first song. I say me and God because I know that did not come from me. A whole song out of nowhere, and it was about you showed me what I'm made of, and I want to give the glory to you because you gave me such beauty and grace and mercy and forgiveness and all of this stuff that got me out of that dark place that I never want to go back to, or I never want to see that version of her again. But if I didn't see it, I wouldn't have known. So that also that's what I'm saying. Like there's such a beautiful making in the breaking, but you don't get to see the glimmer off the shards until you're out of
Yeah,
it.
interesting. Interesting. So, are you are you saying then the only, maybe not the only way, but unless the negative voice becomes so loud to the point where it breaks you, like it pushes you to do things or it closes you in to get where you kind of break, and that's a way to find the real you and the light in you? Is that a path?
It was for me because I'm stubborn and I had ignored that voice for a long time. If you're more obedient, I think that you probably can flow with that voice that leads you. You can listen to God, you can grow in discernment. You can kind of just say not be I wouldn't say that I was ever pushed around because I hold myself accountable for every decision that I've made up until this point in my life. But I mean, you get influenced to do certain things, and like you are capable of having that boundary and saying no, thank you. But my boundary was weak. But I think going through some things that made me either a little uncomfortable, it grew my backbone to start saying no. And again,
Hmm.
that's a phase in itself. That wasn't a one night thing. That was a couple of years that it took me to build that backbone. Saying
Yes.
no, that
Yes.
no, that serves me of no good.
Yes. It,
And
it's it's always a process,
yeah,
and no matter how people land there, how they discover themselves and how they get out of that negative talker, it's always a process. It's almost never, oh, I woke up and it's like, oh, right?
yeah,
And but how is it right now, given that person in you now, this you have changed. How do you, when the talker now talks to you like the bad talker, the one that says you're not good enough, how do you overcome it quickly? Because you must be doing it quickly now,
I
right?
wrote a song. So that talking
Okay.
never goes away, and the more you grow, especially in God, the louder He's gonna try to knock. But the
Ooh,
stronger your walk will
why?
get. Like
Why?
why?
Because he doesn't want to go away.
Because
He's
the
holding on.
anointing is higher. You're like the the devil doesn't want you getting closer to God. The devil doesn't want you getting closer to your purpose. So he's gonna throw darts at you, whether that be a financial problem, whether that be temptation, whether that be a boyfriend that breaks your heart in the middle of something that you really enjoy doing, or like there's all these different ways that can you can get attacks by growing closer to God for sure. Um, but
Tell me about that song, though. I'm
so,
curious.
because
Yes,
I was
please.
going through a very hard time again, like they go in phases. Sometimes I'm really strong and
Mhm,
sometimes it knocks me down. It's just you pick every time, pick yourself back up. It's a
mhm,
whole trek of life.
mhm.
Mountains upon
I
mountains
like
upon
it.
mountains that we have to
That's
up.
right.
It's up and down, up and down. Pick that backpack up. But so I'm just gonna kind of sing it, but not really sing it. And I don't have the
Please.
lyrics in front of me, but it's called Knockout Round. And I in my head, like I'm a fighter. So in my head, like spiritual warfare, devil, you are going down. So I was sick of hearing his voice tempting me and overcoming me, and I was like, that's it. So I'm not
I'm gonna sing you a song.
okay.
You talk, all right?
Okay. I got voices in my head that's talking to me, trying to tear me down. When I look back, I can see that I'm living in the devil's playground. He'll haunt you and taunt you. He'll go round after round. Welcome to my knockout round. So that's verse one, and then the chorus is something like, "Our fire was fire." What is it? Our fire was fire, fire with flames, our fire with spirit in my veins. Oh my Lord, there's protection in your name. This is my fight, my faith, my mind, my battleground. Oh, welcome to my knockout round. To my knockout round.
Love it, love it, love it. Do you see?
About overcoming those
Ah,
barriers.
you guys see, that's the spirit in Shaila. That's her positivity. That's the smile that you see on her face. And I really love you for that. You're such an amazing person. And that song, I mean, can you tell me just the first lyric again? Just the first line, the very first line that you said.
Voices in my head that's talking to me, trying to tear me down.
You see, and this is like if I was to summarize the taco experience almost for every single human on this planet, that would be it. Now I gotta ask you, why did God create that voice for us?
Are we talking about his voice or the talker?
The talker.
Because so that goes back. Why did he create Satan? um, Again, that talker for me is Satan. It's just ways of attacking the mind. It's more than just attacking the mind. It can come out any different direction in your life. Why did he create that?
The
That
short version. Because it gives a lot of pain to people, like real pain.
Yes. So basically, in my mind, we broke covenant with God when Adam and Eve ate from the tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they weren't supposed to eat from, and that broke, and that kind of allowed sin into the world. That sin and that darkness, it kind of all wraps into Satan's ways and how Satan moves. And I know this, people might lose me here, but it's not a voice that's created. It's not a talker that's created in my mind. It's just how biblically it worked out. It's just sin broke that holiness and that love that Jesus had for us. And then sin kind of kept creeping in, and now we're kind of fallen, and we're in this fallen world. You see how broken this world is
Mm-hmm.
as we live it. We're not the only generation that's experienced that, and we're not going to be the only generations to come to experience that. It's sadly probably going to get worse before it gets better. But yeah, I don't think God necessarily created it for a purpose to give us grief in life. I think perhaps.
Is it then a choice? Was it a choice of humans to go that way?
Well,
Like you
yeah,
said.
because he gives us the will to do what we want, but he's not going to force us to go believe in him.
Okay.
But when you do open that door in that relationship, and you're even open to experiencing it, it's a whole new way of life and living. And this is leading to a whole different conversation now. This doesn't mean that we're still not human. we still sin. I still sin. I feel a little bit more terrible about it because I know the difference. But we are sinners. We're born sinners. Way back to Adam and Eve. It's
Hmm.
so
But is there any hope for us? Is there any hope, like
absolutely
from
it's
getting rid of that talk and becoming a humanity of peace, love, calm, and togetherness?
that hope is your choice. You can have a glass half full or you can have a glass half empty. You wake up and you choose it every day, no matter what you're going through. There's always someone
Beautiful.
else who has it worse. But always you have to be grateful for what you do have because again, for my life, I know I feel very privileged to have the things I do in life and to live and to be able to explore different opportunities and roads.
Okay. Well, that's a good way to towards the 1 hour here. That I like the glass half full, waking up and you have a choice. But I have one question before I go to my last landing question.
Mhm.
If you wake up and the talk is already loud, like it happens often in everyday life, it's already filled your head with thoughts from look, you're failing, to you don't look good, you fat, skinny, tall, whatever, or you're not enough, and they're gonna take you this, you're gonna lose your house, you're gonna lose your job. You're waking up with these thoughts. So how do you have a choice to feel like the glass is half full when it's already bombarding you 6:30 in the morning?
You take that and you say, nope, you're going to sit right here. And what I've learned along the way, and I love doing it because it completely changes everything about me, is that I turn on my praise music and I don't care what problem I have to face that day. I don't care. I was going to say, I don't care who's dying, but I don't mean it that way. But I mean, like, I don't, no matter how chaotic and sad and
Hmm.
terrible and horrific things may
The
be,
voice, yeah.
I'm it's I'm gonna surround myself in something that feeds my soul. And most of the times the tragedies that are happening around us that we are so bogged down by, we have zero control over. So am I gonna surrender that to God and say, God, I don't know how to deal with this. I actually don't want to deal with this. Wade, I opt out. Here you go. It's yours. It's in your hands. That's where your trust comes in. That's where your
Okay.
faith, no matter how
Beautiful.
scary things get or how hard things become or how taunted your mind gets, that voice, you have the power to say no. I refuse to listen to you today. I know you're lying. Like there's days where I'm speaking aloud in the mirror being like, I know you're better than this. I know that these voices are telling you lies. um like it's not affirmations. Like there's a whole thing of affirmations and manifestations and all this. It's different. Like I'm I know because of what I went through and what I built myself and came through, that I've gained some self respect for myself in knowing how strong of a human I am and how strong of a human I'm going to be in the future because
Hmm.
I want to
Beautiful.
be and I can be because I choose to be.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
But again,
Beautiful.
you
I like it.
it,
You have a choice.
you have a
And I love how this is, I mean, this, I love the realization you've achieved to that you have the ability to say no,
mhm,
no, thank you. It
mhm,
isn't true.
mhm.
It is a lies. And I'm assuming in your world would sound like Jesus. The talk has no chance against Jesus. That's I'm assuming how you're seeing it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Through your mind,
Well,
and then
scripture for
you
me
choosing.
is a lot is really good too. Like just going into scripture, and the Bible is our handbook of life. And I didn't even realize that, and I don't even think I still fully realize that to the extent I'm going to in 20 years time, because I'm
Hmm.
still baby stages, I feel. But
Oh, beautiful. Charlotte, this was amazing. I have one last landing question for you. We went through a lot of topics, and I'm sure there's twice as many we can go through. Maybe in the future, I'd love to have a second run at this part two with Shaila,
absolutely.
and see what she's learned at that point. But if the talker, and speaking about that negative talker, if the talker was a real human in front of you, separate than you right now, what would you tell him or her, however you see it, as a girl or as a voice of a man or it?
You have lost all power and control over me.
Wow.
Period. You've no longer zero control or power over me.
Beautiful. Do you know, do
I
you,
do.
I, I hope you realize how powerful this is, this statement that you just said, and how many people need to hear this. How many beautiful human beings right now on this planet maybe have suicidal thoughts or lack of living, will to live because of that voice that's become so strong and dark. And to be able to say that, this is amazing. And I hope that it only goes that way for you. And hopefully people hearing you,
Mhm.
maybe girls your age or maybe anyone, can get the message. You can say no, thank you, and you have no power over me.
Absolutely. I mean, when that voice um, physically manifests into like crawling skin, and like it's just sometimes that voice gets so dark and so negative that like you want to be out of your own skin because
Mm-hmm.
again you lack self. It's not you lack self worth. It's like your voice is your mind is telling you that you're not worthy, or you're not beautiful, or you're not powerful, or you're not full of greatness.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like some people don't, and me too. It's like we don't know the difference, but know the difference. Be strong because you are great. You hold so much power. You have a voice, but just turn that mirror around and look in and get to know yourself. Be kind to yourself. Say hi, man. We are living with ourselves every minute of every second of every day of our lives. Get to know
Ah,
yourself.
I love it. Shaila, the motivational speaker. That's the next stage for her, and she has it in her. I mean, it might sound cheesy, but it's so true though. Like you live with yourself, and loving yourself should be the most natural experiences because this is you gonna be with you for the time, right? Like, and I'd like to end with this positive pep talk at the end, but so true and so needed. And again, Shaila, thank you very much. Is there anything that you'd like to say? I mean, we talked a lot on the different topics that we have missed on the talker that you want to end with.
I just think that in order to be mindful, you have to be aware. And to keep that awareness, you have to advocate for discipline in your life, because without the discipline to sit down and be quiet and limit all distractions, social media, crying babies, cell phones, annoying sisters, I'm kidding. The pressures of adulthood, and whatever it is that you have on your plate, if you can't take some time to discipline yourself to sit down, to be quiet and be still, and let your mind be open in the present, then I think that we're gonna lack on gaining that awareness, and
Agreed.
experiencing the beauty of being mindful.
Agreed. Well, I'd like to end with that awareness, discipline, because this is no a walk in the park. Well, it takes discipline,
Hmm.
like Shaila is saying, and I want to leave people with that, so that if you have a it feels like a step backwards sometimes, stick with the discipline. It will only get better, right? With
Yeah.
discipline. Thanks, Shaila. It was amazing having you here. I'm looking forward part two, but a big thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute honor and a blast to speak with you today.
Thank you for listening to My Tribe. Share it or leave me a note. Remember, your talker isn't you, presence is. Less talker, more presence. See you next time.